4.
Okay, you got done. Good, you're good.
All right, awesome, guys. So welcome. Good morning. Happy Saturday. So we're going to talk about making some money today, you guys. How exciting is that? Who came here to make money? Raise your hand, right? If this was free, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be doing it. I love the products and services, right? But I love making money too. So we're going to talk about how to make $5,000 part-time. Part-time. Most people don't even make that full-time. You can do that in Primerica, you all. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Where's Jan? Where'd she go? She disappeared on me. What
I'm right here.
happened? Oh,
Did
there
you
you
see
go.
it?
All right,
You
it's
see my
on you.
screen?
No, I don't see your screen.
Wait, I
You
didn't.
don't see my screen.
I don't
What?
see you or your screen. There
Oh,
you go.
sorry.
This screen. There we go.
Okay, these people are coming in after that we started already. I'm not gonna be able to see people coming in. That's the trick on the iPad. All right, guys, welcome to the Drill for Skill by Shay Felton and Jen Lee. So I'm so excited because we're actually going to be calling on some people today. So just get ready, make sure you're paying attention because we want to all learn together, okay? And Thomas is going to help us by kind of chopping and screwing our video. So it's okay if you guys make mistakes, but we want you guys to learn. We want everybody to know what they're doing before they get out there and train somebody, okay? So number one, let's talk about the mentality of making money in general, okay? First, you can't teach what you don't know. If somebody's coming in and they're a fully qualified person, they got bills to pay, rent, mortgage, kids to feed, parents to take care of, those are people that are not going to be wasting time. They don't want to just hear the talking, they want to see the walking. So you want to be an example to follow versus a warning to avoid. I don't, I remember when I was, let me make sure everybody's muted really quick. Okay. Sorry, guys. If everybody could mute themselves, that would help me a lot, not interrupt the training. Thank you. So, um, if you can be an example to follow versus a warning to avoid, what does that mean? Well, when somebody comes into the business, ask yourself this: how long did it take you from the time you submitted your IBA, okay, to realizing who you should pay attention to and who you really shouldn't, who was making moves in the hierarchy and who really wasn't? You probably didn't know who wasn't because you didn't hear their name, right? But how long did that take you? So let me call on some people real quick. So, uh, Miss Caroline. I never asked Miss Caroline. Miss Caroline, how long do you think it took you to see in our hierarchy specifically, because I know you met another hierarchy years ago, to pay attention and figure out who you should pay attention to and who was getting results versus who wasn't? How long did it take you from IBA date?
Well, back then we were meeting in person. So it took about a month.
Okay, 4 weeks for you. Okay, 3 to
Yes.
4 weeks. Good. Now, what about Cheryl? How long did it take you?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. And anybody else on my team? Trishana?
I want to say it took me about the same, about 2, 3 weeks to realize
Two,
who
three
it's.
weeks. And Shay, what would you say it took? How long it took you?
Honestly, I immediately was attracted to Shaq because of his passion and his energy.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we came in, like over the phone, his energy, I was sold. I immediately was sold
Mm-hmm.
based off of his energy.
And you're a fully qualified person, so that makes sense. So
Yeah.
listen to what these ladies just said. They said immediately versus 4 weeks. Nobody said 6 months. Okay. So that means when you recruit somebody, you got literally average 2 weeks to show that you're somebody that they should follow. Right? Because if you don't, that's why people are quitting. And when people quit, sometimes it's not just them, it's you. You got to change you and your mentality, right? You are a walking advertisement, but on Zoom, they got to feel your energy, like Shay said, passion, right? If they can look at you in the eyes over Zoom and they can feel somewhat of an energy that Shaq said, I can feel some energy from people, that's something that people want to follow, right? When you make money, it also adjusts your attitude. Our head coach, Bruce, 1.4, 1.5 near term $1 million a year earner, said the most sensitive part of your brain is connected to your wallet. Think about when you guys had a low bank account relative to what your, standard is, right? What do you feel in your brain? You kind of feel frazzled, right? all over the place. Certain things get you rallied up easier than usual, right? You take things personally more often. Your attitude, you kind of cut up a little bit, you react a little bit quicker negatively, right? But then when you got a good bank account, right? Good balance in there, you can pay your bills early, not just on time. You don't really care what people say, right? You got some type of crocodile skin right there, and it's just a swag that you walk around with, that you have, and you don't really need that client that doesn't close, you know what I mean? Or that recruit that quits, right? So you have to learn how to make money, or else it really affects every other area of your business and how you attract and retain people, including yourself. And then last but not least, and not any order, but you can fire your boss. Think about this, guys. We're talking about making $5,000 a month part-time. Where are you going to apply to work as far as a job, okay? Or anywhere in a business where you can make 5,000 part-time, right? Self-employed, maybe you can be a doctor or lawyer, right? But there's no doctors or lawyers that are part-time. Think about it, right? So where can you make $5,000 part-time in a lucrative time frame? So let's talk about the reverse engineering of this, Shay.
That's really good. I just want to piggyback off of what you just said about someone following you based off of what you do. That is important, you all. Oftentimes we do have to look in the mirror and say, okay, am I attractive to my teammates? You have to be productive, right? No one wants to follow a dull, delusional, broke, negative leader. That's not even a leader, right? No one is going to follow anyone like that. When we came into the business, we immediately, Shaq's energy, his passion, right? His consistency, his persistency, everything about him was like, okay, we want to follow him. We want to follow him because he had it. He didn't walk around negative, right? He was very positive. He had a huge vision. And for us, that was very attractive because we all know working a job, who walks around like that, right? You don't walk around with people who are excited about being at work. And if you do, right, it's temporary. It's like when you first get that new job, you're like, yes, I got a new job. You put your outfit out, right? You got your badge, you got your paperwork. And then a week later, it's like, oh my goodness, this is all over again, right? There's no one to follow on your job. It's the same thing in Primerica. If someone recruits you and you're not recruiting them to anything outside of the company, it may be hard to keep them. That is very true. People want to join a winning team. They want to follow a winning leader. That's very important. So let's talk about reverse engineering. Example, district leader, the 50% contract. This is big. Now, if you all have done sales, there's really no company that you can go to, job, commission, right, and earn a salary and make 50% of what you bring in. Think about that. Not even car sales, 50%. So it's kind of like a no-brainer to come in here and sprint to district leader immediately, because then you will be able to make the money where you can fire your boss, right? That is incredible. That's one of the things that T and I wanted to do when we first came into Primerica. It was like, we need to make money, right? We got to make money now. $5,000 a month, $10,000 personal premium. This is why we focused on this for so long, right? When we came in, this is when Tanya Poe was on her way to becoming a regional vice president. She would say 10 to get in. That's that 10,000 personal. That's all she would talk about, right? And then she would work backwards. She would say, okay, I have to write 10,000 personal, and then she would work backwards. She talks about training 8 to 15 people on her team. Think about that. If you're consistently training 8 to 15 people on your team, you will write 10,000 plus personal every single month. That will yield you $5,000 a month in premium. In income. Think about that. That's huge. So they work backwards. This is what we have to do. And then we work backwards to go get it. That's incredible. So that's one of the things we always focused on, right? And that came with successful recruiting. 10,000 personal, 10 apps, 1,000. What is that, Jen? 1,000 apps? That would be awesome. We can get 1,000 in premium apps. Is that what that is?
10 apps that are 1,000 each.
There you go. 1,000 in premium. And then last week, she talked about getting the max cases, right? So being in a qualified market, you all, is very, very important, because that will push you further, faster. That will accelerate your business and collapse timeframes when you're in a qualified market. right? Now, I'm not saying I don't help single moms to get a $40, $50 app. I do that as well. That's how I got good in the field, was sitting down with single moms, because single moms need help as well as single dads, right? However, when you're sitting in a qualified market, husband and wife, right, you can get an average $50 each. That's a $100 app right there, right? And sometimes they may say more. So that's big. 10 closes, 20 actual qualified appointments. This is something that I'm working on personally, right? Having 20 qualified appointments in a week. In a week, we're on Zoom. I don't have to travel from DC to Maryland, right? Back to Virginia. I can literally set up my day every 2 hours. Boom, boom, 4 or 5 appointments a day. We can do that now. So you set 20 qualified appointments. You'll go on 10. And it starts with what we always preach, right? Having that 5 appointment set by today's blitz. You have 5 minimum set by today's blitz. Again, you can accelerate your week. You can collapse timeframes. You can move further faster just by doing that. 20 qualified appointments in a month, 4 actual QAs per week, right? So what Jen did here was she's breaking it down. She's breaking it down, right? The numbers are the numbers. The numbers can't beat you, and you can't beat the numbers. When you do the work, these things will start to fall in your lap. It will happen. 4 QAs a week, 8 set a week. So it's broken down all the way down to the bare minimum of what we should be doing as a part-timer, right? But here's the great thing about it, you all. The more work you put in, right, the more qualified appointments you will go on, right? The more apps you will close, the more recruits you recruit across the qualified appointment, everything will fall into your favor. Everything, right? I was telling my son this week, when you work hard, forget the talent. When you work hard, it pays off. When you work hard, it pays off. Follow the steps, follow the system. Primerica is a fine oiled machine, right? We have a playbook. You follow the playbook, these things will fall in order, right? I know what I have to do personally in order to write 10,000 personal. I know how many appointments that I have to set in order to go on, in order to hit that, right? And if I'm not setting those appointments, I'm on edge. I'm fidgety. I'm like, oh, because I know, right? When I go on these appointments, I can get clients, I can get referrals, and I can recruit them as well. That's important. So that's the reverse engineering, you all, of writing 10,000 personal, right? And making $5,000 a month in Primerica income part-time. We're talking part-time. That's incredible. Jen?
Great job. Yeah, so you guys see these numbers, they're really simple, right? I mean, if you really break them down, they don't look that big. So today we're going to talk about how your skills are going to pay the bills, but there are certain skills you have to learn. There's only a few of them, okay? I know that there's a lot of moving parts in Primerica, but Shay, myself, Shaq, all the leaders, we know that Primerica is a series of adjustments. So when you come into a training like this, take what you can and add it on whatever already works for you, okay? That's how all of us got really well. We didn't change anything that already worked. We just took one nugget or 2 nuggets from each training just to kind of put on top of what was already working. We just adjusted, that's it, and added on. So we're gonna talk about how to set the QA, meaning using the character reference and FIFO, right? The triangle offense is basically like the character reference, so we're not gonna go over that. We're gonna talk about how to open up the QA, AKA setting the table with excitement, value, and partnership. How to close the QA, AKA the most common objections you're gonna run into and how to overcome them. And the how to get qualified referrals, we're not gonna go into today because that's a complete different training. And it's a full training, as you guys already know. So we've already done that week after week after week. I would highly suggest and recommend, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get your teammates to do so too. There's so much gold on that channel, guys. But once you learn referrals, oh my God, that's unlimited places to go. There's no way you could be chasing clients anymore or having to follow up over 6 months worried about one client or anything like that, right? Granted, you have to follow up. So Shay's gonna go over character reference first, but let's see what she wants to pick on.
So you guys, this is very important, okay? Because this is how you set your week up, right? Learning the character reference, learning the words, what they mean, the meaning behind the words, the mentality you have when you're going into this character reference. It's a mentality. Like when you pick up that phone and you make this phone call, you know what you're doing, right? They have to hear it in your voice. So this is important because this is your first introduction to making this warm. So when you get on that Zoom qualified appointment, right, that part is done. Now you're just continuing it. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, so when I make this phone call, right, to introduce myself and get information about Gabrielle, right, I'm warming it up. I'm making it warm. This is my first opportunity for them to like and trust me. And listen, a lot of the times, you all, when you first meet someone, especially if you're spiritual, you can immediately tell the type of person they are. Now, we don't want to judge them, but you can pick up exactly what you're getting into, right? So when I make a phone call, I can hear on the other side what I'm dealing with. Are they talking low? Are they excited? Good morning. How are you? Right? You can kind of tell who you're talking to. And then you want to ask those questions just to, reel it out of them to get them talking. You don't really want one word answers because then you really can't feel or understand who you're talking to. So this is very important. Okay. Who wants to role play with me? I'm gonna pick someone. Mama V, you want to do it? All right, Mama V, let's go. Don't make me look bad, Mama V. Come on now.
Oh Lord, maybe I need to
Gabrielle,
do
like,
that.
thank God she didn't choose me, huh? I used to do that with Shaq. When we used to do drill for skill. I used to put my head down. But you know
Oh my
what? It made
goodness.
me better. It made me better, right? It's like when you go to a classroom, you don't want to sit in the front because you know they're gonna call on you. I always tell my kids, leaders and learners sit in the front, right? Get called on so you can learn it. All right. You ready, Mama V?
I'm ready.
All right, Jen is gonna go to the next slide so you can read it all. So
Okay.
Mama V, when you use the character reference mainly as well, right? Priority. Okay, so
Mhm.
what is your thought process when you use the character reference outside of what I said? What other things do you think about, if any?
Well, the character reference, when I call someone, I want to know what type of person. First, I want to know who I'm dealing with first, my person I'm calling for, and then I already know them. And then also I'm calling and asking the other person different questions because I want to get to know who that person is through their eyes, the credibility that that person has.
Yeah, that's so important. All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Veronica. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Veronica. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. We don't know each other right now. I'm sitting right now with a trainee. How long have you been knowing Gabrielle? Can you tell
Oh,
me a little about her? Can you
about
let
6 years. I've been
about
knowing her
6
about
years?
6 years. We go to the same church. She's over the children's ministry, dance ministry. So I've been knowing her about 6 years. She coaches my daughter.
Great, great. Can you tell me a little bit about Gabrielle, her character, her demeanor, and her work ethic?
Awesome, awesome. Very trustworthy. She's a leader. She's a go-getter. Very ambitious. She's motivated, and she has great character. She's over my daughter at church, so I trust her a lot. She's a really good young woman.
Great, great. Well, we're in the financial service industry, and Gabrielle might be handling large sums of money and taking personal information from our clients. Do you feel that she has a high degree of integrity?
Oh, absolutely. She coaches my daughter. I don't trust everybody with my kids. You know
I
what I
know,
mean?
I know that's right. That's a
Right.
great thing to
Yeah,
have.
I don't trust everybody with my kids. And it's my daughter. She's only 13 years old. So absolutely, she definitely has a very high degree of integrity. I trust her. I trust her with my daughter. So I would definitely trust her with my money. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's great, great. Gabrielle is getting licensed through the state of Virginia and has to go through some training before she can get certified. There's 3 types of training that Gabrielle will undergo. The first is licensing through the state of Virginia. The second is classroom training, which we can provide at our office. And the third, online training, is the most important. The last method is Gabrielle will have to see how we navigate through the presentation online. We like to say 20 hours in the classroom is like 1 hour in the field online. So would Gabrielle have enough credibility with you and your spouse where you help out her with an online 45-minute field training appointment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. What do I have to do? I don't mind helping her, but what do I have to do on my end?
All thing you gotta do is be present, you and your spouse, and be there to ask lots of questions for her because she might have to overcome those same questions when she goes solo on her own.
Okay, good. Awesome. Absolutely.
Okay, so what that entails is we'll make it really easy by sending you the link through Zoom, and we will be sharing some information and concepts about 35, 45 minutes. All we ask is for Gabrielle have the best training that you and your spouse are available, like I said before, and ask lots of questions. Is that fair enough?
Absolutely. That's definitely fair enough.
Okay, Gabrielle is going to be available. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's good. So here's the thing, you all, about the character reference. So when they're speaking about your trainee, listen carefully, very, very carefully, because you'll understand the type of trainee you're working with, right? So I'm gonna use Gabrielle because she's on here. When I was making phone calls for Gabrielle, nothing but positive things to say about her. A lot of church people, a lot of leaders, a lot of professional people. That says a whole lot for me. For me to train someone, that says a whole lot. And one of my downlines passed Gabrielle to me to train her because of her credibility. That's important, right? Because I know with credibility, I know what I can do and how I can train you, right? That is important. So we're going to use the trainer's ability and the trainee's credibility. We're going to mesh them together, and you're going to get trained. You're going to get a fat bonus. You're going to build a successful team just from the character reference that we use. That's our priority over everything. Because again, I'm able to control the point of contact. I'm controlling the questions and the answers and what I want the potential client, the potential recruit, and my potential referrals to hear. I'm controlling it. Now my trainee is watching and he or she is listening. So now I'm duplicating what I'm doing. That's so important. I don't want them to go off of the fine oiled machine that we want to create, right? Tom Brady, I don't know much about football, but this is what I do know. He went from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He didn't take the playbook from the New England Patriots to the Buccaneers. He switched teams, still a leader, still getting to the Super Bowl, just based off of what? Being a leader, following the play, executing the play. That's it. That's what we're doing. I follow Shaq. That's my coach. That's my leader. That's my national sales director. That's my, soon to be $1 million earner. He calls a play, Shea Felton gonna run it. I'm gonna put Shea Felton into it, but this is the play, right? This is it. You put you into the play and you execute it. You learn it, you master it. Yeah, you'll mess it up, pick yourself back up, get better over and over again. I've mastered the character reference. I've mastered, extracting names and numbers, right, from our trainees in order to do this. Very, very important, you guys, because this is where you're setting your week up. This is where you're setting up making that $5,000 a month part-time. It's all about how many appointments do you have. You control that by running these plays. Jen?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. And if you guys hear that Mama V was going through, when she was going through the script, it was more like it was a good balance between authority, but also warm, if that makes sense, right? Because you gotta make sure this person takes you seriously too. You can't be like the trainee, like, oh, hey, can you please help her? Like, you can't do that, right? Gotta make sure you, not just what you say, but make sure you know how you're saying the words. So let's go next to Feethor, okay? Feethor is a script that you yourself can use for your personal appointments, or once you start training your people on how to set the appointment, okay? So the updated version of Feethor, that stands for favor, excited, training, help, opinion, referrals. The updated version is on the Google Drive. Make sure you contact your regional vice president or your direct upline who's on the drive to send you a copy of it if you don't have it, okay? But it's gonna be on this and post it to the drive too, so we can send it to you guys. So, Trishana, I was gonna call on you. I'm gonna forever pick on Trishana.
Yeah, I knew it.
Trishana was in our drill for skill, and she said it stands for feather. So Trishana, how would you do Feethor? I'm not gonna show you the script because you work with me. So
Okay.
All right. So let's
Sure.
say you're calling me,
Mhm.
and you're trying to get a personal appointment from me with my trainer Shay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So
Awesome.
ring up.
Hi, Jen. It's Trishana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good myself. Can't complain. Hey, so listen, I was just calling you to ask for a favor. So I'm really excited. I just started joining this company part-time, and I'm just so excited about everything that I've been learning. But I need help with my field training, and I really do value your opinion and what you have to say, because I do look up to you. And all that really what requires is that you meet with me, and I want you to feel comfortable with what I do so that you can refer me to other quality people as well. Is that something that you'd be willing to help me out with?
Yeah, sure. Good job, Anna. Good job. Very smooth. Okay. So this is the updated script. And so when you teach Trishana, let's say you're teaching a Jasmine on your team, right? This is the script. So go ahead and read this script out loud. It's very similar because you just